Good morning, travelers. Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot. Today is December 4th, 2016. I can't believe it. Um, and I was actually trying to get some information about myself um, in terms of the various projects that I have, trying to get started or I'm working on. I have a few. Um, and I put this spread down, and it's a very interesting spread. I know y'all hear tarot card readers say that all the time, but um, to me, this was very interesting. Now, yesterday I did a personal reading for someone, and I wasn't really satisfied with the way that the reading went, in the sense that I felt as though I was not able to give that person really the clarity perhaps that they needed. But I can only work with the cards as they present themselves. I can only pass on the information as the cards give it to me. And in a way, this looks like another part of the story for that person. So I hope they get an opportunity to watch this. But at the same time, um, I'm sure that there's somebody else that will recognize this. Now, you guys know that I don't like to lay the cards out without you seeing me do this, but as I said, I was actually going for information for myself, and this is what I got. So um, these are the Radiant White. I have the Sibilas here, the Angel Answer cards. Um, to my new subscribers, welcome. Thank you for coming on board. For my diehard subscribers, thank you for sticking with me. Don't forget, you can follow me over on Tumblr. You can come over there and ask questions anonymously if you choose. You can go to the website. You can follow me on Twitter. I do readings 6 days a week. My turnaround time is between 48 and 72 hours. Right now, I'm in the midst of doing some Akashic Records readings. So, for those of you who are interested, I have lowered the price. You can go over and read all about it. It comes with a free consultation. You do not need a PayPal account or card in order to make payment. We had an issue with that. I do have the website up and running. Um, let's get into this reading. For those of you who are new to the channel, and perhaps new to tarot card reading or dabble in it yourself, what I have are two major arcana cards. And the major arcana cards are the cycle of life lessons, okay? And each major arcana represents some point or situation as you go through life. They hold more sway over the reading than the pip cards. Now, the pip cards would be your numbered cards. Let me show you the cards. I have the Ten of Pentacles that has presented itself upside down. Now, those of you who have been with me for a while know I do not read reverse cards. They simply do not speak to me that way, but it presented itself that way for a reason. Then I have the Eight of Wands. Now, these cards are the pip cards that I'm speaking about. This is a court card, and this is the King of Cups. Then I have the Eight of Swords. I have the Emperor, and this is a major arcana. The Five of Swords. The Hermit, another major arcana. The Six of Wands. And the Two of Coins. Now, whatever this situation is, I think it's a very, very difficult one. The overall energy, however, is the Ace of Wands. And I love to see readings that end with aces. So if there were a large number of major arcana cards, I would say, really it's kind of out of your hands. But I only have the two major arcana. I have the Emperor and the Hermit. Now, the Emperor speaks to, he's the archetype of the father figure. It also represents the sign of Aries. It is a number 4 card. And number 4s speak to stability and static situations. It can sometimes speak to stagnancy, things not moving. The Emperor can indeed be a very, very tough energy. Um, the message behind the Emperor is someone who is equally balanced between their logical, rational side and their emotions. That's how he became an emperor. He's more than a king, he's an emperor. Um, he's an emperor because his main goal is to increase his territories. But he also knows that in order to do that, sometimes you have to go out and conquer. You have to take things from people, but you also have to maintain through diplomacy. Um, it can speak to someone in the military affairs, strategy, these things. Typically, the emperor will represent an older male, okay, if it's talking about a person. And if not talking about a person, then it's talking about a situation in which you're being asked to remain balanced as much as you can. Um, the Hermit. The Hermit is an earth. It represents earth. It speaks to the sign of Virgo. It is indeed just what it says, the Hermit. The Hermit is a scholar. He's a teacher. He tries to get to the essence of the truth, and for himself. This can typically indicate someone who is alone or has been alone for quite some time. But the challenge of the Hermit is to be able to not only go within and seek the essence of the truth for himself, but he's supposed to come back out and be able to share what he has learned with others. Um, that's what the light is representative of. It is about the light within, but also being able to share that light with other people to help them find their way. Okay. He can also be a leader of some sort. Now, our focus card here is this Emperor, and the way the cards are read are past, present, future, past, present, future, and then we have the interplay of the cards. So right in the center, I'm looking at this Emperor, and what I feel, I'm getting two messages from the Emperor. This is about someone who is in a position of authority, but it also speaks to perhaps some kind of conflict with a father figure. Now, this father figure could be actually a father figure, a mentor, another mentor. I'm kind of getting these three things from this King of Cups, the Emperor, and the Hermit. But it can also speak to perhaps someone being in the role of a father figure or a leader. Um, this Ten of Pentacles presented itself upside down. Now, right side up, the Ten of Pentacles means it speaks to a group of people, people that you've been with for a long time. These people can be family members or friends that are like family. It can even be in a work situation that you've been around these people for a long, long time within this particular group. There are things built up. There's lots of, there's enough to go around. Um, this could be about legacies, inheritances, trust, property. It could be, anything, but it's about generational things. And not only about passing down or having enough finances to pass around down through the generations. The pentacles really can be anything. They simply represent the efforts of hard work. So this is like having reached the mountaintop in some respect, but as we can see, it has presented itself upside down. Now, this card can also represent traditions. And because it presented itself upside down, the messages that I'm receiving is that someone's home life is upside down. They've worked very, very hard, but something is upside down. Um, Maybe this is having to do with the holiday season. If we want to speak about traditions, maybe this is someone trying to create a new tradition for themselves. Maybe this is someone being forced to do something in a way in keeping with someone else's traditions. Um, it the main thing that I'm getting is that this is something is upside down within the home life, surrounding the home life, surrounding property. So down the left vertical column here, the past, I would tend to think that this is a situation in which someone feels trapped. Now, this is the imagery of this card. We see a person standing stock still, bound and blindfolded, with these swords behind them. Now, the swords represent thoughts, ideas, perceptions, beliefs, um, communication. And this is someone who, the card represents someone who feels that they cannot get away or they don't see a way out. But now, because these are swords, these ideas or the perceptions, this is someone who feels that way simply because that's what they think. Notice how loose the bindings are. So this person can literally break free should they choose to. Okay, and then they can remove the blindfold and they can see that they are not surrounded by these swords. The swords are just like a wall. So these things are literally kind of behind them or should be put behind them, but they don't, they think that they are unable to shed themselves or rid themselves of whatever these swords represent. Now, you can't see this, but in the very back up there, there's a house on a hill, like a castle. And right now, what I'm picking up with the way that it's peeking through the swords, it's like a prison, okay? And this is someone trying desperately, or they feel very, very isolated in this situation. And perhaps have been that way for a long time. As you can see, he's rooted, he's fixed on the top of a mountain, okay, in the snow. So this is someone who is fixed and rooted in this particular situation and really trying to find the truth of what is happening. And maybe if they can find the truth of what is happening, they can reverse this 10. You see, because really, even though it's upside down, it's a 10. And so it means that this is an end of a cycle. So it appears that something is trying to end, but someone for a long time has not been able to figure out how to work through that energy. Now, coming across the top here, the reverse 10 of Pentacles with the 8 of Wands. This 8 of Wands is kind of a strange card. Everybody likes to see it when it shows up because it's always something positive, but yet it's just 8 wands flying across the sky. So you really kind of have no idea exactly what it's talking about. But the meaning of the card is that this could be travel, it could be news, it could be new work projects coming in. If it's travel, it's going to be travel by air. This is something coming in very, very quickly. And typically it helps to resolve a situation in the positive. Now we see it going, these arrows pointing into this King of Cups. This is a water sign individual. This will be a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. This could even be a female. It's not just necessarily a male, but it could be also a female water sign. Someone who perhaps has been alone, perhaps has had to take on the role of mother and father, but is feeling quite isolated. So in one respect, whether male or female, same-sex or heterosexual relationship, there's something upside down. There's something that is trying to change here. And this news or this, whatever this is, you see, we see something coming out of this upside down 10. So if this has been like, you've been wanting to sell a house, maybe your mortgage is upside down, maybe your house has been devalued, you're trying to sell it and you haven't been able to get rid of it. This, in a sense, kind of says that there's going to be something coming in where perhaps you will be able to. Maybe you don't see that right now, because as we can see here, the knighting of the King of Cups, the 8 of Swords over to the 2 of Pentacles. And so maybe that news has not directly come in yet. And so we're feeling a bit all a sea here. This could even be someone wanting to sell their home or purchase a new home or even move. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I have movement here in these spreads where we see someone has been rooted here, stuck. We see the Eight of Wands coming in, the Six of Wands, the horse. White horses represent aid and rescue. They represent movement. In the with the runes, I think the rune is Awaz, and it is known as horse. It might be Manaz, I'm not sure. It speaks to the movement, home, hearth, family, and it's a positive indication. And we can see here the Eight of Wands, the Emperor, and the Six of Wands. So what I'm feeling is that either someone is going to get news about whatever this upside down Ten of Pentacles is speaking about, and the news is going to come quite suddenly. You may have to just get on a plane and fly someplace, okay? And whatever this news is, it's asking you to remain logical and balanced. If you can do that, there's going to be a victory in this, okay? That's what the Six of Wands is. Now, the thing about the Six of Wands, if you can look at the horse's face, he's looking like, really, you didn't do this crap by yourself, okay? But also he knows that the next step, once through this victory, is going to bring some challenges. We're going to be looking at the Seven of Wands if things are to go. And indeed, I would say there will be some challenges because here we have this Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles can be where you may end up losing a little bit of money. Maybe you don't get as much money as you want from whatever the project is. But come on, it's a victory, no matter how you look at it. This could also be so many things coming in at one time that you're just trying to maintain the balance. You're hoping you don't drop the balls, but there is definitely some type of imbalance between what you are doing. That's what the pentacles represent, the actual physicality of the work. And maybe you're having to travel a lot, and you're trying to balance that home and work situation, but we can see that it's upside down, you see. And if I subtract these two pentacles from this 10, I get an 8. So it says to me that there's definitely going to be some work coming. Now, the other story that I'm picking up is that this looks to be some kind of issue with someone's father. He sits in the center, so I would assume that this person holds a lot of weight around what someone is doing. This could be a situation in which you perhaps maybe are caring for elderly relatives or parents, and this person has a definite fixed, set idea of what is right and what is wrong, when maybe there need to be some changes. If you have any business dealings, or you're sharing any trust or properties or insurance, wills, things of that nature, there's been some conflict here with this Emperor. This could be your father or the father figure. You see, even he himself is coming from a place of being stuck and rooted. And perhaps whatever this Eight of Wands is that's coming in, there's been arguments here. There's been things said. There have been arguments here. And this is someone who, this person represents someone who has, in a sense, won. But it's kind of like you won the war but lost the battle. Remember I said that he can be someone who's strategic. He can be someone like a military affair. Maybe this is the character of the person. They are staunch, they are hard, and he sits between two swords. So this is someone whose mind is not easily swayed. It is someone who has perhaps rigid set ideas and beliefs. But typically when I see this Five of Swords, and it's three people, so I would expect that um, two people have lost and someone has won. But there's still some confusion around that because these are the two swords, and the two swords say, you know, I don't really feel that I have enough information to make a decision. And fives speak to changes, um, new elements, new people coming into the situation that create some kind of upheaval. And this could be someone who's very, very resistant to whatever this new thing or this new person, this new situation is that's coming in. And I also feel that if this is two separate people here, that they are now rather estranged from each other. Um, and we do know that sometimes, in order to make the changes that we wish, we have to go against sometimes what other people think. Sometimes making changes for yourself in your life really can create a lot of conflict and a lot of havoc because not everybody's going to agree with it. But this is why you go into that space. You have to do what is good for you. And if those people that you have relationship with really do care and they love you, they don't necessarily have to agree, okay? But you would hope that they would at least be happy and come back and support you, okay, in some way. You know, that is the beauty of the different flavors of some people are pungent, some people are sweet, some people are salty. It makes uh, it's that brew. And so everybody is different. Everybody learns their lessons differently. Everybody has a different path. And just because the person is not, you may have somebody in your life who feels you should walk a certain path like that, and you should not veer from it. And they can come in and condemn you and judge you, because sometimes he can even represent like a judge. Um, but ultimately it's your life. You have to do what is best for you. And so sometimes when you stand to assert yourself, you want to finally do something that you've always wanted to do, or you know that you need to make a change in order to affect something positive in your life, because doing it the same old way for all of these years just really hasn't gotten you the results that you wanted. So yeah, a lot of people ain't going to be on board with that. But you, again, as I say, you would hope that the individual will support you. They don't have to agree with you, and as long as whatever changes that you're letting people know what you're doing, you're not just going in and making changes without saying anything to anybody. That never works. There's always going to be an opposition against you when you do that, because you're changing shit and nobody, and it's coming out of left field. So you want to be able to talk and be able to defend your position and try to get people on board with what it is you're doing. Even if they still don't agree with it, you're going to have to clarify your intentions and your positions. At the same time, you're going to have to keep your word about whatever it is you say that you are trying to do or what you have promised them. Um, I feel that, again, I'm getting the message that there's something, because there's a lot of water here. They're standing on a beach. He's on a beach and he's floating on the ocean. Okay? So there's a lot of water here. So in one respect, it's telling me that there are a lot of um, perhaps emotional decisions that are wrapped up. You know, and love and money are two sides of the different sides of the same coin, because it speaks to your value system. Um, Now, what fell out, I was shuffling the Sabilas here, and what fell out, I did not realize that I had an Endovina Sabila here. And it said it says a loss of money. I don't know if you can see that. Can you read that? I don't know if you can, if you can't, but it says a loss of money. It has blurry. And if this is a boss or a father figure, the patriarch of the family, we can definitely say that whatever this thing is, he really is not down with it because he sees it as a loss of something. Okay, that's what he sees it as. It's a loss, and you're coming in and you're upsetting everything that I've taught you. You're going against everything that I've taught you. You know, we worked on this, we've done this, we got it thus far, and now here you want to come in and change some shit, and now, no, I don't agree with it. So what does one do? This could even be someone in the position of, like, as I said, uh, being this emperor person, and they have been alone. You know, I've done several readings where the cards were saying, you know, it's lonely at the top. You have reached the pinnacle of your success in some respect, but then, you know, what is your, it may not be about money for you anymore. It could be something that's a personal success for you. Maybe you are in a position where you are financially okay, and now you want to divert and change, switch your energy over to doing something else. Um, Maybe this is a loss of investments in some way, shape, or form. Uh, you know, this energy down the center, it's all fire energy. This is Mercury in Sagittarius, this is Aries, this is Jupiter in Leo. Um, Now, look at this. We just had, I think, Mercury conjunct Sagittarius or come in. This speaks to the time frame of November 23rd to December 2nd. This was yesterday. So for some of you, maybe this hasn't just arrived yet. There really is no timing in the tarot. So perhaps this week, this will be coming in. This is the present row, by the way. Um, uh, and then for others of you, maybe you, it almost speaks like a liberation of some sort. Um, and it's definitely Mercury, news. He rules news, communications, travel, the internet, cell phones, documents, faxes, computers, boats, ships, um, cars. He's also known as the trickster. He's about to go into retrograde phase. So this could be why we have this two of pentacles here. This could literally be that you've been waiting on some news about this upside down ten of pentacles, and it is about to come in. um, Now, what does that, the king of cups still has a little bit, I'm not quite sure what that means. It either means that some type of news or resolution has come in for this person who's been sitting around going, you know, I don't see a way out of this. I don't see a way out of this. I know something has to change, but I don't see a way out of it. Um, and as we can see, this person goes, they're in this, but then all of a sudden here they are. Um, and we can see the knighting from here, this loss of funds, loss of property, this fighting over money, this disagreement among how things should be. They've been that way all this time. Why are you going to come in and try to change it now? Created an argument, and someone being like, damn, you know, I don't got nobody to. But this is why that you go into the space of the hermit. Now, the key about the space of the hermit is not to stay there too long. Eventually, you have to come out. And these could be the first tentative steps of stepping out of this hermit. And this is a very important card because of where it sits. Um, I'm going to take to the Sibilas. We can see that the Ace of Wands represents the time of summer. So we go through the time frame of winter when things are fallow, they're cold, they're gray, they're dark. But it's a time of rest before you can get up and you know, spring comes around, things start to bud, the ground becomes more fertile, and you get out and you start tilling and planting whatever it is and planting your crop. And maybe this Ace of Wands is saying that by the summer, you will see really that growth and that expansion that you're looking for. But now this is an ace, and aces are simply opportunities. And if you don't seize the opportunity, you will miss it. Now, what's interesting to me, this is definitely about someone's home life. And I'm kind of sensing that maybe somebody wants to move. This may not be in a physical sense of moving. And the reason why I keep picking that up is because there's a house way back there in the background. See that? This is a thing. I've shown you the house that's like a prison. See it? Way back there. I don't know if you can see that. My camera's kind of crappy. But way back there, there's a castle on a hill. Open expanse, trees, verdant, greenness. This is about energy and vitality, and and the house is sparkling white, as if it's something brand spanking new. Some new energy has come into this home environment. And then these two cards in the background here, there's a ship there behind this king. Let's go to the Sabilas, and I'm going to pull both the Vita Sabilas, and on top of those I'm going to lay the Indo-Venus to see if first card out is this Emperor, because he in one respect presents as the smart savvy person, but then with some of the surrounding cards he presents as a real problem. So sometimes one card can represent two different people. One card can represent two aspects of the same person. One card can represent a person and a situation, positive or negative. So let's try to see if we can get a bit of clarification perhaps on this Emperor card. I feel that for some of you it is an issue with an elderly family member who has really been or is becoming difficult to deal with, particularly if there are any changes that need to be made surrounding home, property, businesses, things of that nature. In some respect, it reads like something new has come in and kind of set this king afloat. He's been like this for some time. He himself has had to embody this energy of the Emperor, but has been isolated. The Emperor's giving the side eye to this Eight of Swords, as if he's saying, don't even think about it. So, this could be having an argument with someone and having to walk away from them. Maybe you won, like I said, you won the battle, but the war, but you lost the battle, or however that saying goes. In this direction, this Emperor is not down. Things are upside down, and he views it as a loss. He doesn't see how he himself is afraid. And that's what I'm picking up. Well, if you move, what are we going to do? You're breaking up the family unit. Oh, wow. Look at here. There's another Indo-Vena on there. Definitely something to do with finances. Here we have a loss of money, and then we have some money. So definitely this is some kind of financial property issue. Um, that is shaking things up. So let's take a look at this emperor and see if we can gather a little bit more information about him. Um, this is someone who can be very stern and very cold and very distant. We do have this hermit attached to him and these ugly swords cards. Now, I have, for those of you who don't know the numerology of the tarot, I have 2 8s here, and 2 8s speak to news that will affect the relationship. Okay? We can see something's coming. We can see it. And whatever this thing is, it's going to right this upside down 10 of Pentacles. The reason why I say that is this is a 10. And in the numerology, the 1, we add the 2 numbers together. The 1 plus the 0, the 10 equals a 1. And all 1s are related to the Magician and the Aces. These are new beginnings coming in for someone who's been stuck for perhaps quite some time. It could be due to family obligations here. All right, let me put one more shuffle on this. You know, but like I said, the energy of the Emperor is, you know, sometimes you got to make decisions that your subjects won't like, but you got to figure out a way to get them on board. And I think if you can do that, sweeten the pot a little bit. But across this way, there's somebody you're dealing with that is not down for whatever it is you're trying to do. The Vedaval, someone who is attached to the past. And remember I said he's looking at these 8 of Swords. This is somebody who doesn't want to let go of what things used to be like or thinks they should be like. You know, we've always done it that way. Why are you trying to change it now? Adona Maritata. Now, this could involve a mother figure, somebody's wife, someone in a nurturing capacity. Huh. And the domestico. Well, the domestico is a collaborator. He's also a servant. And he does things, but he works behind the scenes. But because he's a collaborator, it's kind of like you're not sure if you should trust this person. This could even be the man returning. It definitely has something to do with family dynamics. Either way you look at it. Let's take a look at this 10 of Pentacles here. Maybe that will shed a little bit of light. Whatever this is, it has created an arguments somewhere. Somebody fighting. The thief. This is theft of goods or services on the upside down 10. Someone stealing something. But you know, people can steal more than your valuables. Someone who, this upside down 10 of Pentacles, theft of movement. This is constraint, the inability to act. Remember, I was saying this person's been stuck in this position for a long, long time. But what the Eight of Swords says is that they've always been able to free themselves. They just don't see that. It's going to stay like that forever, is what they think. This is the desperate jealousy. This is excessive attachment to the past. It can speak to fear and jealousy. These are negative, three very, very negative cards falling on the very, very negative aspect of a home situation that's upside down. And these three cards together feel that is saying that someone feels as though they've had opportunities stolen from them because they've been chained to this particular situation. They don't see a way out. This person is literally committing suicide. He's shooting himself in the head because he doesn't see a way out. Wow, that's interesting. You know, and the message I'm picking up is that this person, perhaps this is some news or an opportunity for this person, but the fear is, I think they fear whatever these three cards are talking about, and they fear this emperor person. It really speaks to fear here. They fear, they don't know how they're going, they know that it's going to create problems, and they are afraid to, so they don't do anything. They know that it's gonna shake up some stuff, and it could be, maybe there might be an inheritance, or someone is dangling an inheritance over their head. You know, if you do that, then I'm going to do, I'm going to take all of this away. I have that kind of power, you know. So it can speak to some sort of manipulation, if not financially, then most definitely emotional manipulation. Look at all this water here. It speaks to a fear. It speaks to an imbalance of power within a relationship. See the balance? Everything's off balance now. Sometimes I read that Two of Pentacles as somebody who is not sure about if they do something, how are they going to feel, or how is somebody else going to feel about it. The Pentacles with the boats being tossed all about. We see this king here just trying to maintain his balance with all of these emotions. Roiling under the surface, but trying to show a calm exterior. Um, if I'm just able to stay here, then everything's going to be all right. But we can see that that doesn't work. I am also picking up the message that this person may even be drinking just to cope. And they know that this is not the answer as well. Someone who's secretly drinking. Sometimes this could be someone who secretly is fantasizing about something. The King of Cups is related to Neptune. So this could be someone who's secretly fantasizing inside this bright light. They're shining that light deep within, and thinking of how things could be, should be, how they want them to be, but they're not acting upon it. Let's pull cards on what this Five of Swords is trying to tell us. You know, this is only a belief. You're not chained. You're not bound. You can walk away. You just have to find, first of all, make a plan. You don't just jump up and do it. Some of you may just jump up and do it, and that's going to work out too. But others of you may have to plan out. That scholar, do the research. But it is definitely perceptions and beliefs, and this is a clash people clashing over their ideas or their beliefs. Maybe they're not on the same page right now. And somebody wanting to fight just because they want to be right. Okay. And maybe you want it. Okay. But it really isn't bringing you exactly what it is that you're looking for. That's why we have those Two of Swords. There's still some contemplation that needs to go on here. In effect, this is like having two twos here. The Two Swords against the Two Pentacles. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do now. Well, the Namiko. Resentment, hate, concealed anger, the rival on the card where we're fighting. You know, it kind of reads like there's some, and that's what these emotions are underneath this king, is this is someone who is resentful or very angry, perhaps at their father. Again, as I say, this could be a female or a male. We're not going to assign specifically any gender, although the cards that are presenting themselves really do speak to male energy. Speranza. Well, now that the fight's over, I hope that I can put this behind me and move forward. But Speranza can also speak to fear, dream, apprehension, waiting. Remember I said this person, it's like they may be fantasizing about what they want to do. How can they do it? How can they do it to appease everyone? So, but there's apprehension here. There's still fear. There's a lot of fear in the spread. And what if I don't get, you know, I've been doing this. I've been supporting you guys for so long. It's time now for me to be happy. I want to go off and do. But again, as I say, it creates problems. And there are arguments that are coming up around this. I'm going to take these Indo-Venus. We already see that there is some type of financial component to this. And again, as I say, love and money are the same sides of the coin, different sides of the coin. It is about your self-worth and your value. How do you equate money and the things that you own to how you feel about yourself? I mean, it's great if you've got, you know, a great nest egg in the bank and you're driving a fancy car and you live in a great house and you can take great vacations, but you ain't got nobody to share that with. Or it's like you're seeking for outside validation when what you know is that you really need inside. You need that inner validation. You need to validate yourself. So it is about the self-worth and how you equate the things that you own or you don't own to how it makes you feel on the inside. Some people have, you know, tons of money, but they're so unhappy, you know, and then some people don't have no money, but they are very, very happy. So it, I think, comes down to figuring out what works best for you and not allowing anybody else to come in and dictate what you should have, what you shouldn't have, or prevent you from accruing those things or whatever it is you feel you need to improve your self-esteem and self-worth. I mean, hell, they not walking in your shoes. If you're miserable and you're just pretending to be happy because that's what your family expects you to do or someone you feel you have to answer to, you need to tell them to go get stuffed in a nice way. And sometimes it can be about having disagreements with our parents. And the truth of the matter is, no matter how old we get, there's always that sometimes undercurrent of fear of going against what our parents say. But come on. The parents, they, and I don't mean this in an ugly way, they've done what they're supposed to do. It's now time for you to do what you're supposed to do. Why? So you can carry it forward and the people coming after you can do what they're supposed to do. The militare. Again, it speaks to someone being caught. This is a relationship with the police. Now we see that there's a theft here. So this could really be that maybe somebody has come in and stolen something out of your house, or stolen money out of your bank account. They've robbed you of your stocks. They've robbed, something of that nature. But then it can also just be feeling caught. But also, troops do secret movements, and we can see falling on this Eight of Swords that it is somebody who does not see. It could be about doing something behind the scenes, something going on behind the scenes, maybe unbeknownst. Wow. This is definitely some kind of major. Oh, look. I think this is someone who is just perhaps has reached the end of their rope with trying to do things the same old way. The militare, the disgrazia, the misfortunate event, and the casa. Wow. Well, there it is. Somebody really they're deep in thought and meditation. They're trying to figure this out. So if you know somebody who is, I'm going to take we already know that there's some money involved here. Let's take a look at what this Two of Pentacles, and we're going to use the Indo-Venus here to see, because twos also represent duality, choices, balance, harmony. How do I bring together what I want to do so that I can feel the way that I need to feel? Because I'm tired of feeling all at sea. I'm tired of trying to pretend that things are hunky-dory and not being afraid to just move into that energy. It's time now. That's what this is. You have Jupiter in Leo. Leo is about courage. It is about strength. It is about facing your fears, your adversary. It is sometimes about doing those things that nobody's going to agree with. Why? Because you have a vision. You know what it is that you want, and you know what it is about creative energy. And it is also about taking a risk. I think that someone is on the verge of making a monumental decision about their life moving forward. This lemon askate with the Two Pentacles in it is kind of reminiscent to me of the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is about taking a gamble. Sometimes what has gone down, it's now time for it to come up. It is the new karmic cycle coming in. And of course that it's going to throw you off balance, because now it's going to involve you doing things a new way, looking at things a new way, behaving in a new way, opening yourself up to new emotions that perhaps you have been afraid of or you've been blocking out. Let's pull on these Two of Pentacles here. And then I'm going to pull an angel answer card. And I'm going to close this down. I don't even know how long I've been doing this. Oh, almost an hour. Okay. I hadn't planned on doing it that long. Thought. We have all of these cards of thought here. Pensiero. 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 A trip to the country. Maybe this is just somebody going, man, I need a damn break. Wow. But then the flatterer comes out. Now, remember I was saying that you may have to diplomacy. This is the Knight of Wands. Being swift, being creative, but also being able to kind of bring people together. That energy. Let's pull an angel answer card. For some of you, there might be a blonde woman involved in this. I don't know what that means. Maybe that blonde woman is the key. I don't know. But she also represents the Seven of Cups. And we know that the Seven of Cups is, I don't know what to do. Hell, maybe the blonde woman could be the person that stole something from you. What do I know? It's definitely a home situation. For any question that was not answered in this spread, hopefully the angel answer cards will give you, will point you in the right direction. One more shuffle on these. Well, first time I've ever seen this card. Can you see that? What does it say? Big, 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 happy changes. Let me show it to you again. Big, that stupid light over there. Big, happy changes. There. Wait a minute. Let me get in the frame. Big, happy changes. See it? Well, that's interesting. All right, that's what I have for you, travelers. I hope that these messages helped you in some way. This is a general reading, so these messages will not resonate with everyone. You can come over to the website if you're interested in a reading. You want to come leave a comment, you can do that. You can also join me in the private Facebook group. Till next time, namaste.